Hello, my name's Terry Chimes, and this is my podcast, Rock and Roll Confessions. For some time, we've been meaning to diversify, get people other than rock musicians. So we're doing other people like comedians and all sorts. And today, for a change, we have a model. She's not just a model, she's also an artist, a fabulous artist, so you'll really like her work. So please welcome here Charlotte Rose Smith. So, Charlotte, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I'm intrigued to meet you because you're from another world I've no experience of. Actually, I've got a burning question I want to ask you before we start all this. Right, it's a really important one. I want you to ask me honestly. Is it too late for me to launch my modelling career?
I don't think so. I think you're okay. I think you should go for it.
I think your nose is growing.
It's never too late, Terry.
No, maybe another time. But modelling's a whole world I've never really know much about. But I was thinking before I got here, what's the best job in the world? And I thought, I used to think being a rock musician was the best because you hang around with other guys, make music, you do what you like, you earn a fortune, you meet loads of gorgeous women, you go to parties every night, you travel the world. I thought that's got to be the best. But actually, I don't know, because when you're in a band, if the band is on tour in bloody Eastern Europe, your best friend might be getting married and you can't go because you're over in that bloody... But with modelling, you take this how much you want, and if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah, you can pick and choose, which is a luxury that I
Mind
really
you,
love.
if you have a bad night and you haven't slept all night and you haven't shaved and you look a mess and your hair's all over the place, when you turn up and go, oh, well, he's a rock musician, that's what we expect.
Yeah.
But you can't do that with modelling, can you?
No, and I think I probably did do a bit of that when I was at 18, 19. But I think you can get away with it at that age. You kind of bounce back a bit quick. I can't do that now.
Yeah, it's probably not a great idea.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
We don't condone that sort of behaviour.
And also, when you're in a band, if they don't like you can say, well, you've got no taste.
Yeah.
But with modelling, to get the job, you need to be what they want, wherever that might be.
Yeah. Well, I think like with modelling, you're kind of encouraged to be like a blank canvas, especially when I started modelling, like which was about 2016, 2015. And that was more like, you have no personality, you have nothing to bring to the table. You go in with a black vest top and black jeans, no character at all. And I think as the industry has kind of changed, and actually I think the influence of social media as well, brands and clients are looking for like a bit more personality, and they want you to show off your personality, how you're dressing, what you do as well. They want you to have a talent, which for me as a painter has really like exploded my modelling career, having the added bonus of being an artist as well on the side.
Well, I want to talk about that because you've got two things. I think it's great to have two things, not one thing in life generally.
Yeah.
Two strings.
I think so too, yeah, just in case one goes to shit.
Well, it can do, can't it? Yeah.
You never know. Yeah.
And the career of a model is not long, is it? I don't know how long it is. But
no, I mean, I think it's a little longer these days just because they're more interested in people that are doing things and like kind of personalities and characters, which I think is really good. But yeah, I'd say like I was always told about 30, but I have many friends over 30 that are still working really well.
So it's like football players, really, about 33.
Yeah, probably. But yes,
and then unless you're a goalkeeper, you're struggling.
Yeah.
And also, I was saying, so if you don't like my music, that's your problem. But with beauty, when you turn up, they might say, we don't like you, mightn't they?
Yeah.
Because you're not the look they're looking for, whatever that
I got sent home from when I was about 19 from Poland, where I was meant to be there for a week because I had my cut by Sassoon. If you know anything about hairdressing, Sassoon is like the more experimental, like short fringe kind of looks, and I cut my fringe really short the day before, and then I went and they sent me home because they were like, that's not what we wanted.
What's the most undiplomatic situation you've had when you walked in and they said, oh no, you won't do? Has anyone been rude in that way?
I mean, I think with castings you kind of grow a thick skin in a way.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so like it's not personal, it's just whatever they want in that moment or whatever they want for the brand. Yeah, like it's nothing to do with you as a person. So I think you just grow this thick skin, which I think kind of has informed the way that I like work as an artist as well, because I'm able to like kind of just, I've never waited for permission. I've always like done the thing myself. My first like 2 shows were independent shows that I did, like solo independent shows.
It's what modelling, right?
No, that was for art.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
you jump between the two.
Yeah.
So with art, you can paint something and put it in the window and say, if you want it, you can buy it, and someone will like it.
Yeah.
Whereas with modelling, you've got to go there and say, would you like me to model this? And then, no, I don't think so. Is that kind of, it's the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, but also you go to a casting, so it's not like you turn up for a job and they go home. It's like you go to the casting, then they choose who they want, and then you go to the job. So it's a little less personal, I guess. It's like, you know, it's just, yeah, it's exactly like acting. Like you go to an audition.
I remember Twiggy. You weren't born when she was around, obviously, but do you remember Twiggy? Is she a name you're familiar with?
Yeah. I was at a Burberry casting the beginning of this year, and she walked in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And all the models, there was about 100 models wrapped around the room, and none of them, you know, everyone has to play it really cool. But I could see everyone was like, it's her.
Yeah, she created a whole TV persona, really.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah.
I don't know how she did it, because I remember her quite well. They used to drag her on anything about 60s, drag her on anything about fashion, drag her on anything about, I don't know, Mary Quant or something, drag her on. And she'd always be, and I think she was a very easy person to listen to, a very nice person. You always thought, oh, it's her, we like her. Yeah. And then David Bowie used her on the cover of his Pin-Ups album, which is nice. And so she's always been around. So she managed. Well, if she was around now, she'd be massive on social media, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but of course, you're the first generation of models, really, that are all over social media. Before that, there wasn't any, was there?
Yeah, because like social media started, I probably got it when I was about 15 for the first time. So like for the beginning, I'm kind of this weird generation where I've experienced childhood without social media, and then kind of like my mid to late teens with it, which I think is quite an interesting thing. But I lived in the countryside, so I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Bedfordshire, and so my childhood was a lot of like running about in fields, like, you know, getting into trouble, walking into quarries and like abandoned buildings and exploring, and a lot of boredom as well, which I feel like kids these days, they just don't have. And I think boredom is like the kind of starting point for creativity. You have to kind of sit and look at walls for a bit before an idea forms. If you've got that instant like dopamine hit all the time by scrolling, you're not gonna seek for dopamine elsewhere, like creating a painting or a song or whatever. But I found it quite fascinating as a tool immediately. I'd start taking pictures of my friends, like photography, and posting it. And I had like a Tumblr blog, which was like one of the earliest forms of social media where it was more like art stuff. Yeah. And like a lot of musicians started through social media. Like Lily Allen was on, I think it was Bebo. I can't remember. It was one of the earlier forms. I think the Claxons started on social media as well. So there's a lot of like, it's like it's a great tool to get your foot in the door without gatekeepers, because previously it was like you had to get scouted or like picked out of obscurity.
It's completely leapfrogged all of that nonsense, isn't it? Which is great, really.
It's good to like have some ownership and power on your of your own like career in that way. Because I think previously, like anything creative, like I said, it was kind of, you were kind of at the beck and call of someone else's decision. Yeah.
Well, we interviewed Paul Simon from the Clash a few weeks back, and he of course has always been a musician. He always still does do it, but he also has always done art right from the beginning. He had the two in parallel. And I remember him saying to me that in the early days that I like doing art, but when you're an artist, you're in a room on your own all day long. And when you're 19, that's a bit much. When you're 30 or 40, it's probably quite nice to be away from everyone. So it was nice to have the two sides to it.
See, I have like, because I run an art studio in North London, and like I have a bit of an open door policy with my mates. So like yesterday I had like 3 friends, I was working on a painting, and they just come in and out and like do some work, sit on the couch, bring some lunch in. Yeah, so it's like, I like being alone, but I don't like being alone for long periods of time. So I feel like it's quite important for me to have people around and like have that kind of energy of, I don't know, for me, it's more, it informs my creativity having people around, for sure.
I wouldn't like that at all.
No, really?
When I'm filming something for this, I mean, I'm very busy, so I've got no time. So I've got 5 minutes, I've got to record something for social media, sit down, and the postman rings a bell like, oh, God.
Yeah, I can be a bit like that as well.
Or a friend says, oh, hi, you home? I'm going to come around. Oh, God, I haven't got time.
Yeah.
So that would drive me crackers trying to do a long job.
Yeah. Well, it has to be like the people that I'm really comfortable with. It wouldn't be like any strangers, but... But yeah, like I said earlier, my best friend from school, Elijah, he's my assistant, so he's always, he's brilliant. He's a musician as well. I met him in when he was gigging in Bedford when we were like 16.
Let must be lots of girls
Mm.
that dream about being a model,
Yeah.
the ideal job, perfect job. And especially if people go, oh, you're so beautiful, you should be a model. If you had a daughter who was 17 thinking about being a model, what would you tell her?
Well, I think it's definitely a job that, although some people really do like land into it, to stay in it and to be successful, you have to really want it. It is a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of um doing the right things and having the right vision and working with the right people. So for me, I first got scouted when I was 15 at the clothes show in Birmingham. It's like this kind of clothes show that happens every year. It's kind of iconic, and Select always scout around. But nothing came of it. I think I was a bit young. I was doing my GCSEs. And then I moved to London when I was 18. And at the time, I was working in a clothing store in Carnaby Street, and all the girls that were also working at a clothing store were all models. They were kind of like that sort of store where they just pick the girls that are good looking.
Yeah.
And so I was surrounded by all these models, and they were all like, oh, I just did this shoot and I got paid like £5,000. And I was like, oh my God, I need to do this. And I was studying English literature at university, so I was broke.
Nice.
So I got a message from Instagram, and there was a model scout that asked me to come in, and I signed with them. And my first agency was Profile, and they were just behind Oxford Street, and I was with them for 2 years. And I was doing a lot of e-com, and it was all very like, it was all very money jobs. But I think my career really exploded when I signed with Premiere, which was about 5 years ago. And I got signed in Paris, Milan, and I started like traveling with it.
I think I've heard of Premiere.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about modelling, but
It's
I've heard
owned
of it. So
by
it must be very famous if I've heard.
It's a good one. It's owned by Carol White. She's a bit of an icon in the industry. She's she's a bit scary, but in like the best way.
Okay.
I think the first time I walked in, and she kind of made her mind up about whether she'll take you or leave you. And she looks me up and down. She goes, "You're gonna have to fix your teeth." And she goes, "And you're very short, but we'll take you."
That's what I thought when you walked in. I thought she's a midget.
I'm 5'6", which is tiny for a model.
Tiny?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have to be really like 5'8" and over. So, so I've really blagged it. I don't know how I've done that.
Why are they obsessed with height?
Well, I guess like clothes just look better. Like all the samples fall on a body that's meant to be a bit taller. Yeah, yeah. So I just always get put in the big heels.
So would you be happy if you had a daughter going into that business, or would you be a bit...
I think because
cautious?
I know what I'm doing, and I know the industry so well. I've been a model for 10 years now. I would be okay with it, but only because I would be able to guide her and say yes and no, and I'd have a very strong eye on the situation.
Yeah.
I had parents that didn't really know anything about it. Was all me. It was like, I want to do this. I'm gonna make a name for myself. I'm gonna be someone. And my parents had no real like understanding or grasp on what I was doing. In fact, they didn't really. They kind of thought it was ridiculous because they're very academic and very traditional. So I think there's a lot of there can be some bad stuff with it, but I think for the most part the industry's changed a lot, and it's become way more like safe and controlled, and yeah.
Well, you've come along in the middle of the Me Too movement and all
Yeah.
that. Do you think it's changed? What's
100%, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
I saw the change. I saw
Right.
that. Like I started modeling maybe like 2 years before the Me Too movement really kicked off.
Yeah.
And I take things with a pinch of salt, but I was about 18, and there'd be like middle-aged photographers like commenting on my boobs and commenting on how sexy I was, which when you're in a work environment, it's a bit inappropriate. And that completely stopped like almost overnight when the Me Too movement. It was like, oh shit, we kind of have to keep our jobs here, which I think was really good for safeguarding young people, because when you're a model, some of the girls are like literally 16, which is a child. So you really have to be careful about these environments for these girls.
And they don't think they're a child, do they?
Yeah, they don't. I definitely didn't.
No. Do you think we miss anything with all that coming in now? Are people too restrained and...
You know what? I
restricted?
don't think so, because I think it went all the way one way, and then it's starting to come back a little bit. Yeah. So I think there was a period of time where everyone was a bit scared and uptight and afraid to kind of be themselves on set. And I think nowadays it's relaxed a bit, but there's still all of the safeguarding and all the good is left. So people won't take the piss or be like say insane stuff or like hit on the models.
Tasteless.
Yeah, or like there was a lot of like getting numbers for girls underage and stuff like that I kept on seeing, which I just thought was really gross. But I think none of that would happen now, especially in the UK. I'm not sure about elsewhere. But then, but I do feel like you can kind of just be like, you know, can have a bit more fun these days. I hope. I do anyway.
Yeah. Are there assignments you've really not enjoyed or been unhappy with?
I mean, there's been times where it's been a little bit, if I'm honest, like I just loved it so much. Like I found it so interesting working with like creators at the top of their game, like photographers, makeup artists, creating images that I felt really proud of, being a part of like a huge set, and I just found that like really glamorous and sexy. And I guess like the worst parts are maybe I was a bit cold, or like I was shooting until 1 a.m. But again, like none of it really matters when I think for the first like 3 years of my career as well, I wasn't making much money at all. I was making maybe like $5,000 a year, which is like you can't live on that. That's ridiculous. So I was working like other jobs and like trying to pay rent in London. And then it was only when I started painting that I started getting the second income. It's almost like I unclenched from the desire of modeling, and I was just like, well, I'm doing this now, and that's my thing, and I'm really good at it, and I care a lot about it. So when I went to castings, I was like, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And it was like that attitude that I think kind of propelled my career even further. Like as soon as you care less, it's almost like they want you more.
So you do it on your own terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
Yeah.
important because a lot of people don't, do they?
Yeah. And also I think the added element of being an artist is good for modeling as well. It's like brands are really interested in that duality.
When did you first start getting serious about art?
So I started painting seriously during lockdown because obviously all the modelling stopped and I just graduated my degree, so I had nothing to do.
You couldn't model during lockdown?
No, because that's like in person, so everything was closed down.
Oh, because I worked right through it because with medical things, you had to keep going. So I had to wear a ridiculous visor and a mask and a apron and gloves and God knows what else. It's ridiculous. I was like doing a death, CSI investigation into a dead body or something.
I guess it was a bit harder when you're modelling or on camera. You can't really be wearing the garb. No. I think we did a few sneaky ones here and there, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
If you're in a studio and the photographer's 10 foot away from you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
But I had all this time, and then I just started painting because it's something that I really enjoyed all my life. And then by the end of it, I had this huge collection of paintings, so I did a solo exhibition and just did it independently, and then I had a bit of a following from on social media from like the modeling, but also I was posting all my paintings, and I just sold out that show completely like independently. And then I did that again the next year, and then the next year I started getting interest from galleries, and now I've done shows in Miami, Texas, London, Brighton. I've done it, like I've travelled with it, which is really, really amazing. Yeah.
So if you do, you call it a show, like you
exhibition
showcase, yeah. So you go down, you put your paintings all over this gallery, and how long does that last?
Well, it depends. So the ones that I was doing, it was more like a pop up. So it was a week.
Well,
just because the space is so expensive, so I had to like compact it. But the ones that I did out in the States, I did the Miami Art Basel, which is kind of a fair, and then in Texas I did a show with the Connor brothers, and that was, I think that ran for like a couple months.
Yeah, I've looked at you. You've got a separate channel, haven't you, on your on Instagram? Is Instagram your main platform?
I have TikTok as well. Instagram's the best for like promoting artwork, just because the audience is a little older on Instagram than it is on TikTok.
Oh, is it?
I think my followers on TikTok are like under 25, so they're not really going to be buying the art.
So at some point you'll move more into the art, less into the modelling, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's the plan for sure. Yeah. But I mean, even like nowadays there's Gucci campaigns led by models that are like 60 and over with like long silver hair. So beauty standards are changing for sure.
Someone was telling me about a lady that does modelling of clothing, and it's plus size, and she gets loads of abuse, really nasty personal abuse from trolls, on there. And I thought, God, I don't know how people find the time to do that.
I mean, everyone gets abuse. I feel I get abuse on social media as well.
I don't get much abuse. I'm pretty lucky, I think.
Yeah.
I have 200 comments. I get one that says you've dinosaur, what are you doing here, or something like that. And I think they're hilarious. I don't ever answer them because then they won't leave you alone then, so I just leave them on there. But it's just, I think it's really funny. But
yeah, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, sometimes I get some really good like feedback almost. So I almost take it as like an echo chamber, and I filter out the losers. But if someone says something quite, so I remember I got a comment that said because I'd done this Macbeth stuff and like the cigarette boxes for about 5 years, and someone was like, when are you going to switch it up and do something that's more real and connected? And I was like, okay. So this new exhibition that I'm doing is completely like a complete departure, because I felt like I was kind of in a rut doing the same thing over and over again, and I guess there was like a fear of if I changed something that worked so well and it wasn't well received, then I'd be like this one hit wonder. And I was kind of like doing a first album as a musician and just having that fear of like the second album, oh my God, there's so much pressure. Yeah. And so this is, I guess, is my second album where I'm doing this exhibition completely different to what my usual style is. And it's really personal, and the kind of subject matter is more intimate and private, and so I'm a bit scared, but I feel like it was so necessary for me as an artist to like kind of unshackle myself from the restraints of feeling like I need to be someone, a specific artist,
Would you ever think about maybe taking a year off and going and doing a course in art in Milan, or I don't know. No,
I think I really wanted to do it in Florence because they've got really good like drawing schools.
Have you been to the Vatican?
No, I haven't.
You
No.
must.
Yeah.
The art in there is jaw. I mean, I have got a lot of art in my house, original art, but I just like it. But I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who's an artist, used to teach art. We walk around a gallery. I say, I like that. He said, no, this is better. I said, no, I don't. That's rubbish. I like that one. But he knows all that. But you walk around and some of the stuff, like El Greco and all that sort of stuff, is just just amazing. In fact, you walk around the whole gallery and you get to these Salvador Dali and think, oh, I've never seen him before. That's nothing. I'm so blown away by the stuff. I don't care about that now. It's just astonishing.
Well, a lot of the new work that I've done for this exhibition is inspired by a trip to Florence, where I was looking at like all of the Botticelli angels and stuff, and like taking pictures and using them as references in like large scale watercolors and stuff. So I'm interested in kind of finding inspirations in different mediums, because before it was just purely pop art and kind of that kind of direction.
It's like music, you can take influences from everywhere, and then what comes out is you, isn't it? Well, I'm going to go to Florence now you said that.
Yeah, you should.
Played there before, but I think we all got drunk, so we missed all the
all the art and the culture. Art. Yeah.
Although I stopped drinking actually when I was 26.
What?
Because when you're in a band, you're in a bar all the time.
Yeah.
I don't stop this.
So have you been sober since you're 26?
Yeah.
Wow.
If I'm at a wedding and we're sipping the happiness of the bride or something, I'll have a sip of champagne, but have a glass, I'm up on the table dancing.
Yeah. I went sober from the age of 21 to 24, 25-ish, and it kind of reset my relationship with alcohol.
Yeah.
I needed it, I think. Now I can like enjoy a glass of wine without staying out until like 2 p.m. the next day.
Oh yeah, I couldn't be doing that anymore. Yeah. So you're moving into different kinds of art. I mean, it's quite exciting, really, because most people go to art school and then they decide what kind of art they do, and then they do art, don't they? And that's it. But you've got.
Well, I never went to art school, so I'm kind of uneducated in that sense. But I feel like, well, I did literature and creative writing at university, so I have a degree in that. But when I started painting, I started like immersing myself in the art scene, and all of my friends are the most incredible painters and sculptors and screen printers, and from every single person I'm kind of learning from them and asking questions, and I'm extremely curious, so I'm like trying to garner as much information that I possibly can. So in that way, I think I had an education that wasn't at CSM like the typical one, but I got the education from other people that went to CSM. And I think for me it was like I'm extremely experimental, and I wanted to like really forge my own style. And I think sometimes maybe my grandparents went to art school, and they always said that everyone ended up coming out the same because they had taught exactly the same.
Well, that's not good.
And and I think in a way I'm just kind of making it up as I go along.
Yeah, there's schools of rock now. You can go study rock music for 3 years and come out with a degree in it. I'm thinking,
Did you ever study?
No, it's like, what the hell's all that about? I mean, I suppose they will teach you to play, but I don't know if they'll teach you about life.
Yeah. I had an ex-boyfriend who we always had the same argument over and over again, and he was convinced that like an artist is only ever created. You're not born an artist. And I was like, no, it's in you. And I think the difference was that I was arguing that you can learn the same amount of like years, but if it's in you, you'll have that added extra thing that makes you special and it makes you like elevate above everyone else. And then if you just put in the hours, you can learn technically and be an amazing artist, but you won't have that special essence that makes you amazing.
That's the whole
And I
point
think
of
that's
art,
the
isn't it?
difference. But it's like you're born an artist and then you put in the hours.
So your grandparents were artists and your parents were academics.
Yeah.
So if you have children, they'll be academics and they'll have
I don't
arty
know.
children, won't
Well, my mum's a painter, so
she?
she's an artist, but she was never a career artist. So I was the first woman out of my family to like have a career, which I feel like I'm quite proud of that. But I think when I was a kid, it was always kind of imposed on me by my parents that, oh, you're just going to marry and be a housewife. So my brother's education was kind of like the fancy education, and my education was the subpar, like, you know, normal school. I think I kind of resented that. And I think as a young adult, I would be like, well, I'm going to make a name for myself and prove them wrong and like go above and beyond. And, you know, and I think I did do that, which I'm really proud of myself for. But there's my mum's an incredible painter. She just kind of lacks the confidence, I think. And I did I painted the window display in Selfridges. They asked me to kind of do these paintings, and they gave me 48 hours, and I got my mum involved to help me, and you know, like I got her to be there and kind of paint it, and then I paid her for the work, and you know, gave her like that kind of feeling of like you can do this, and she's so talented. So but yeah, my grandparents met in art school up in Glasgow, and my gran again wasn't career artist, but the most amazing painter I've ever seen. And then my granddad was an architect, so they travelled the world and kind of did like, I think they did like Saudi Arabia, Oman, Fiji. So they had a really bizarre kind of fun
Fiji
time. Yeah,
I've been to Fiji. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it would have been Fiji in like the 60s, which I think was really interesting. Yeah. I think my mum said that like she has really early memories of when she was like 4 or 5, where she'd be like meeting the Fijian people and they hadn't even seen like a white person before. It's like bizarre. Yeah, but I think they had a really fun time and like they really lived life to the full, but they just put my mum and her brother in like boarding schools and kind of forgot that they were parents, I think. She's like very old school of
its time.
Of its time.
Tell us about some of the big things you've done in the modelling.
So I work in Italy quite often, and I worked with a big bag brand called Furla. So that was like a huge like campaign in Milan, and I think in Tokyo as well. And I just shot their second campaign, which will come out at the end of this year as well, which is nice. And I've worked with Lalique, which is like the glassware, but they did jewelry campaign, which I was the face of in like January. I've worked with Chanel Beauty a bit, which is really nice. And yeah, a lot of like editorial. So I just shot with Rankin for Hunger magazine, which was a really huge honor because he's like a bit of a legend in Britain. And yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head at the moment.
Come on with a big bag full of stuff for these things.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're usually quite generous, which is really good.
How do you find other girls? Are they bitchy with each other, or they're nice to get on well mostly?
No, usually good. Yeah.
Good.
I think that for the most part, I turned 27 on set last year in Italy, and there's 2 girls there, and they were both 18 and 19. They couldn't believe how old I was.
Yes. This age thing is so funny.
They were like, guess how old she is. Oh my God. But they were so lovely. Like they were just so, I just felt quite protective over them, you know, like it was more like
children.
I was just like, are you eating? Are you
I
drinking enough?
When Keith Moon, the drummer from The Who, he died at 32. And I remember saying to my friends, well, he's had a good life.
Yeah.
Thinking about that's ludicrous.
No, it's
but
that's the thing. I remember thinking 32 is ancient.
Yeah,
and now,
you're a teenager.
And now I'm 28 and I'm like, that's not far off.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. So, coming in being young in an industry, you're obviously aware that you don't know lots of things.
Yeah.
And you're a bit vulnerable.
Oh, I don't know.
And well, how did you feel? Was it a bit of trepidation going into it, or
no? If anything, I had like a youthful naivety about it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because teenagers think they know everything, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what I was like when I was 19. I know everything. I'm better than him. That's why.
Yeah, I had a very much like that attitude where I was like, yeah, I could do that easy. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I, you know. So I think there would, but I think it's a bit of a superpower as well, because I think nowadays I'm way more give way more thought to things, and I overthink, and I think that can hold me back a bit, and I have to kind of think of that younger version of me and try to like harness that power, because it is this kind of, you know, blinkers off, being like, oh, it's fine, like everything's great.
I think everyone gets opportunities. They've all got gifts. Your opportunities
Yeah.
to use the gifts. You just got to
You just got to you got to
Take it.
notice when there's an opportunity in front
Jump
of you as
in.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me there was like there's many like sliding door moments, or like little points of, and I think I grabbed everyone. I think one of them was actually Milk, when I was the girl that was meant to be here. When I first met Milky, she we were working in Carnaby Street together, and I met her, and there was just this like energy around her. I just thought she was so excellent, and I thought, she's a star, and wherever she's going, I'm going to go with her. And we moved into a flat together in Camden like a couple months later, and she formed the band Wargasm in our front living room. And so there was like
Where else would you do it?
like literally, yeah. But it was like people in and out, like all these musicians, and like Youngblood was in and out, and like Barnes Courtney, and all these kind of amazing rock stars. And like I was just there kind of like looking, like watching it all happen. And then I started painting after that, but it was more like a feeling of like, I need to do something, I need to like add something to this world, I need to find what my thing is.
Yeah.
And I think I might not have had that drive or like that spark to do that if I hadn't have seen her go and chase an impossible dream and smash it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's a real like amazing person.
Well, the thing is, with art, I don't suppose you can go on forever, surely, can't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
David Hockney died, didn't he, the other day?
Yeah.
How old was he when he?
I think he was in his 80s.
And he was painting right at the end, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he did a
there you
show,
go.
The Serpentine, like a month before he passed.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go then.
Yeah, he's amazing. But I think for me, it's a fear of failure. It's a fear of like doing something that and people don't like it. I think that's probably it.
I was in, what's his name? Monet's house.
Oh,
last
wow.
summer.
Yeah, it's
That's
fantastic.
interesting.
Yeah.
And they said he did an awful lot of painting, but he threw away.
Yeah.
Actually, what amazed me, because I had, you know, when you get old, you get cataracts, and they take the lens out of your eye, the lens that's inside your eye, take it out and put a plastic one in, which is a bit scary.
Oh, yeah.
But now I can see everything.
Yeah.
But I've got one for distance, one for close up, and I can see everyone's wrinkles. That's the problem. But anyway, but Monet had that
Having
operation.
cataracts,
I'm
yeah.
thinking, Monet,
Yeah.
that was way back. And what was it made? Kind of, there were no plastics in those days. It must have been made of glass. But mind you, when you look at his paintings, he didn't see very well, did
Yeah,
he?
but no, that was the thing. All of his paintings were slightly
Blurry,
blurred because
yeah,
he had
yeah.
like problems with his vision. But that
Yeah.
was part of, like, he lent into that, you know. It's
Yeah.
like part of his art.
But he created loads of art and threw it all away, burned it.
I could kind of imagine myself doing that one day.
Yeah. So, what's the next thing for you then, your future? You're going to do this exhibition coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So that opens
New-
in end of November.
Oh, okay.
The last week of November.
When is it? Where is it?
NoHo Studios in Fitzrovia. It's Great Titchfield Street.
NoHo.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a funny name.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come down and look at it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I get a discount?
Yeah. If you want.
Oh, that'd be great. And then after you've done that, then the slate's clean again. You can start thinking where to go next.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Go
is
to Florence and have a good look.
yeah, which is quite a freeing idea. I quite like that concept.
Lovely.
But I like having something in the pipeline always. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the years you've had an awful lot.
Oh, thanks.
And most people do one thing, then they have to change it every wrench. But you've just gone in two directions at once, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, it was really nice to speak to you.
And you, yeah. Well, we'll see you at the exhibition.
Perfect. See you soon.
Fantastic. Get painting then. You can now buy a copy of my autobiography, The Strange Case of Dr. Terry and Mr. Chimes. It's £12 for a signed copy, plus postage. If you want one, you just go to terrychimes.com.
All the art that makes up the set, or Rock and Roll Confessions, is made by me, Mark Illuminati. Check out all my work at www.illuminatineon.com. The link to contact me is in the description. All the art is for sale, and I hope you like it. It's got a nice punky feel to it, and I've pretty much covered all our favourite bands. Enjoy.